teacher is indisposed today, so she won't be here to teach you. Today you will be taught by Super Unicorn. So sorry. Just kidding. April Fools. Channeling my inner unicorn. Been trapped inside way too long. Hi, Smarties. Welcome back. Today we're going to, hold on. It looks like April Fool's Day got a hold of our calendar as well. I'm a little confused. Are you? Oh, let's read what's on the board, because this is not what I left yesterday. 1 April today, 2020 is. Do we talk like that? I hope not. Tomorrow was Tuesday. What? Yesterday is Thursday. What? Today will be Wednesday. Well, today is Wednesday, but it's not going to be Wednesday. It already is Wednesday. So that doesn't even work. Oh, and then we have some punctuation here just floating around. All right. Well, welcome, Super Smarties. Let the learning begin. I think the first thing we're going to have to do is make the past disappear. So let's take it away. Bye-bye, April Fools. We're not fools. We weren't fooled by you. Ah, my goodness. This is what happens when the month rolls over. I was so tired last night. I went to bed. And I haven't seen you since last month. Do you remember to tell that to your family? Alrighty. Marker in hand. Looks like we're ready to roll. So, today, capital T-O-D-A-Y, face space, this is Mace, the face space, is I-S, and yesterday was Tuesday, so today is Wednesday. Capital W-E-D-N-E-S-D-A-Y. Today is Wednesday, comma. I don't have a whole lot of room, so I think I'm going to sweep back. Now, January is the first month, February is the second month, March is the third month, March is over, so now it's April. What do you hear at the beginning of April? Let's break up the beginning sound. April. A. I hear the first letter in the alphabet. It's saying its name. April. Slant down left, slant down right, line across the middle. A. Oh, that's a P. It's a fall letter. Falls down into the basement. A, P. Of rabbit. It's a vowel. Like is. April. Oh, punch the ending sound. April. Oh, like lion. April. And we finished the whole last month. It ended with 31. So now we have to roll all the way back to the first counting number that represents an amount. Not the empty set of 0, an amount. This is the first day of the month, and it counts as one day, so we have to use the number 1. So I'm going to use the numeral 1. A straight line down is fun. That's one. It looks like a double L, so don't get confused. It's not April. It's April 1 or 1st, comma, 2020. Same as yesterday and the day before and the day before and the day before for all of January, February, and March, and now April. I put a 2 in the thousands place. I put a 0 in the hundreds place. I put a 2 in the tens place. I put a 0 in the ones place. 2020. Today is Wednesday, April 1st, 2020. Or, OR, which means instead of, January, February, March, April. So I'm not making a 3. I'm going to make a 4. Down and over, right? Looks like a capital L. And down some more. That makes 4. Dash, kind of like a comma, holding a space, so it's new information. And it's 1. 4 dash 1 dash. We're going to just take the last 2 digits out of 2020. I put a 2 in the tens place. I put a 0 in the ones place. 2020. Here comes the bus again. I made a fun little kind of paper. We're going on a learning field trip. Climb on the bus. Now do you see bus, B-U-S? Here you are climbing up the stairs of the bus. Here's the bus. Bus, B-U-S. And do you see I have some words coming off of them? Those letters? That's called an acronym. Now an acronym uses the first letter of a different word to help your brain remember an original word. It's called a mnemonic. So B is for build, U is for up, and S is for schema, because right now what we're going to do is we're going to build up our schema. This is kind of like a schema snack. It's not a full-on lesson, like a brain bite. We're going to just take a little bite and have a little nibble of some information. So get on the bus. Come on, Robinson's rabbits, climb aboard. I'm your driver. Here we go. We're driving into our schema. We're going to dump it in. I know. I'm like this every day, not just April 1st. I know you like it. I see that. It's way more fun to learn like this, I think. Okay, so here we have punctuation. And I have a little song. It's not my song. It's one I borrowed, but I'm not sure where I borrowed it. When I find out, I'll put it in the credits and give them credit for it. Somewhere in my classroom, which I can't get into. So I'll borrow the song and then credit them later. But it's not my song. So these are punctuation marks. Now these are just the stopping marks. Just stopping marks. But it is called punctuation. There's more punctuation than just this, but I'm going to refer only to this right now. The stopping marks for sentences. Punctuation marks are tiny, but there's something that you need. Stories and paragraphs without punctuation would be very hard to read. Every sentence has to have one, so you know where it should end. Use a period, exclamation point, or a question mark, my friend. Now today we're not going to do yesterday, today, and tomorrow. We're going to focus on the punctuation mark because those always use periods. But I want you to know when and how to use them. So we're going to look at structure, how they look, and function, how they're used. And I know you're wondering, why are there 2 exclamation points and why are there 2 periods? Because, pull up your pants and put on your belt, dun dun dun! They're used in 2 different kinds of sentences. 3 different kinds of sentences. Just let me explain. It'll be easier. So you look at my lines down here. See how one goes straight and flat, one kind of goes up and down, one's kind of woo, and then one is straight and goes up at the end. Well, that's kind of a visual indicator of when you would want to use these different forms of punctuation. What kind of sentences, what your voice is going to do in the sentences. So the first kind of sentence is what's called declarative. It's also called a telling. Just a telling sentence. And with a declarative or telling sentence, your voice stays pretty even, and you use a period at the end. Just a period. Declarative or telling sentence. Just telling. Just telling. The next one is pretty strong. Your voice could go up or down at the end, but it's really, really strong. It uses an exclamation point because it is exclamatory. Exclamatory. You're exclaiming something. This is kind of a yelling sentence. Or you're telling with strong feeling. I saw a mouse! Oh my goodness, that makes me so unhappy. Hear how my voice changes? Exclamatory. So declarative is just telling. Exclamatory, yelling or telling with strong feeling. So we'll put yelling or telling with strong feeling. The next kind of sentence, this is why I had to have 2 exclamation points and 2 periods, because this kind of sentence that uses either a period or an exclamation point is what's called imperative. It's imperative that you do this. It's imperative. It's imperative. So this is telling with yelling or commanding. I am sure that you have heard a lot of imperative sentences at your house the last 2.5 weeks because your parents are now parents and workers and maids and teachers without credentials or with credentials but not teaching their grade level. So it's crazy time. Imperative sentences. Put that stuff away. Sit down. Why would you do that? Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Go outside. Come back inside. Wash your hands. Yeah, that probably most of those are exclamation points. But commands can just end with a period as well. So imperative is telling or commanding. So we'll put yelling, telling, or commanding. Really commanding. So declarative is telling. Oh, let me put my period back. Declarative is telling. Exclamatory is yelling or telling with strong feeling. Imperative is yelling, telling, or commanding. So there's one I haven't used. Have you figured it out? It's the one that goes with a voice that is pretty stable and then goes up at the end. And that's interrogative. Interrogative. We call that an asking sentence. And your voice goes up at the end. This is what I say. Who, what, when, where, why, and how. And I need to know right now. Who, what, when, where, why, and how. And I need to know right now. Interrogative. It sounds like interrogating. I have to know this information. I need this information and I need it now. So these are the forms of punctuation in the sentences that you will write. Most of what we write in school is going to end with a period. It's just a telling sentence. Most of what we write is telling. Some of what we write, we tell with strong feeling, and that's exclamatory. So declarative is just telling, ends with a period. Exclamatory is yelling or telling with strong feeling, and it uses an exclamation point. Imperative is yelling, telling, or commanding, and it ends with a period, or it ends with an exclamation point. Either one. Depends on how you're telling. And the last kind of sentence is interrogative. And that's an asking sentence. And your voice goes up. Who, what, when, where, why, and how. And I need to know right now. So how was that schema snack? Did your brain grow a little bit? Fill your brain, the satisfaction of having learned a little bitty bit of something that you can apply later or right now when you write this in your composition book, and you make this sentence, and then you write something about today that you experienced, like maybe you play a prank on someone, and then you get to use an exclamation point because they were like, what? Oh my goodness! Think carefully. You have to stay in the house with these people for a really long time, so don't do anything that would require that you try and escape, because there's nowhere for you to run to, and nowhere for you to hide. That's for mamas and daddies and little people too, grandmas and grandpas, home support providers. We're in this together. Survive. You can do it. That was a great time. I super enjoyed spending time with you. I don't even know where my chart went, but here it is. Oh, and I brought some little labels. I forgot to put these up. You know what I just did? I made a mistake. And you know what? This is another thing I want you to take away. Here's another brain bite. Going on another field trip. Little schema snack. Mistakes are expected. We're all going to make them. And then they need to be inspected. Look closely at them to see why you made them. Were you not paying attention because you were thinking about something else or distracted by someone? Were you frustrated because it was difficult and you couldn't do it or you didn't know what you were doing? When you inspect it, you know the why behind the I couldn't or I didn't do it right. And mistakes must always be respected. Did you know that in math, when we are doing hard math, that scientists have discovered that inside of our brains, math takes a lot of neurological activity. It requires a lot from our brains, which is why a lot of people say, it's so hard. It's not really hard, it's just very taxing. There's a difference. But sometimes taxing feels hard. So when we're learning math and doing big math and our brain is working on it, when we struggle with it and we make mistakes, our brain does what's called compressions. When we learn from the mistakes and we self-correct, we fix them, we make them, maybe we make them again, but we correct them, and we correct them, and we correct them again. And eventually we're not making those same mistakes, we've corrected them. Our brain compresses that information down, makes it small and compact, and puts it in a highly retrievable place. That's why perseverance is so important with math, because if you stay with it, the information eventually gets smaller and smaller and goes into a highly reliable place. It's compressed information, takes up less space, and it's not as difficult to get to it. So they should be respected, all of our mistakes, because it is how we learn, but it's also how our brain grows. So when mistakes are made, we should expect that we will make them. We should inspect them when we've made them, and we should respect ourselves and others when they make them, because they help us learn. Now look, I had this idea, like, I'm going to make a brain and put a head around it, and then when I did it, I thought, oh my gosh, that kind of looks like a light bulb, like it's growing, and I could make it into an exclamation point. But then the brain looked super funny, and I thought, this is totally awesome, because on my mistakes chart, I made a mistake, and look what I did. So I made a little head, like a light bulb, with a little information like, whoa, it's lighting up and stuff is coming off it, and it's in my exclamation point. So it goes with my sentence structure, with my lesson here. So that's my icon for my making mistakes, because that's how they help us learn. And I made a mistake too. Lots of them, every single day. If I wake up and I'm breathing, I'm usually making a mistake. So it was great sharing today with you. I'm going to channel my inner unicorn again and go through the rest of today. And until later, goodbye, super smarties. Come back ready to learn. Here's some love. Put it inside. And some pride. And some schema. I dumped out some of mine so you could have it. Don't take it all. Super teacher. Out. Bye, everybody. Have a unicorn rainbow day.